And welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to work with the question about React hooks. So the question states my data renders twice and returns empty on the first. For a project, I'm getting multiple objects that all contain specific football match details. So I filter the matches by match day, but I keep getting an empty array on my first render. And then when I leave the tab and come back, it then renders on the object I need. How do I get it to render once with my data? Here's my code. These are different states, and I think we are interested in this one, matches, or let's just go to, let me open um, this image to see what's going on here. Okay, so first of all, this is bad idea, right? We don't want to show anyone our API keys for or API tokens for our Heroku app. So guys, please never show any keys, any credentials on the Stack Overflow. So we are not going to use them anyway. So then I'm trying to get matches and filter by match day. And this is a function. So this is a asynchronous function, and what we are doing is we are making a GET request, and then we receive the data. So this is our response data, and I see that here we are using await, and I'm not, I know that we do not need to do it, right? So since this is not an asynchronous operation, so we don't need to wait for it. I don't think it will somehow break the code, but anyway, we use await only for asynchronous operations. Like for example here, Axios get is an asynchronous operation. So now we've got the data, and then we set loading to true. Now this is bring me some question, like for example, why do we need to set loading to true after we actually got the data? So I think what we need to do, we want to move set loading true to before we make an API call, so we can show the spinner, especially when our default loading state is false, right? And then we will, after getting the data, we then set it to false. So basically, normally it's false, we don't see any spinner, any loading indicator. Then before making an API call, we set it to true, so we can now show the spinner or indicator. And after the successful or unsuccessful API call, we set it to false to hide the indicator. Now we set match data, and let me see what that is. Okay, set match data, match day, sorry, set match day. All right, so this is set match date, and we are taking data match 0 and season current match day. All right, and then we are filtering all of our data matches by that match day. So as I understand, we are taking the first match in the list, in the response, as a current match date, and then we are filtering everything else. All right, and at the end we are going to set matches. Basically, this filter, which is the filter matches, we will set. All right, but I only get the match day, and when I filtered list, it is first rendered, it is always an empty list. Let me open this console log, right? I've tried tweaking my useEffect, but it only loops infinitely. So this is the useEffect, and I already see a problem, right? And guys, probably you can see it too. Basically, a useEffect expects two arguments. One is a function that is going to be called on changes or on initial load. And the second is the dependency array. And what that means is that useEffect will watch for changes in the dependency array. So for example, if we pass matches to this dependency array, that means that useEffect will track matches, and if it changes, it will re-render, or it will invoke this function again. So for every change within matches, we useEffect re-renders or re-invokes the function, and eventually calls this get matches again and again and again. And matches, at the beginning, our matches is empty array. That's why when we load the page, nothing happens because matches didn't change, right? And then when we make the when we change the matches, only then useEffect will fire and actually invoke this getMatches function. Okay, but when I leave the page and come back, it then gets the data I need. So here is my, I'm not sure I understand what's going on. Most likely, this function is invoked somewhere else, because if you leave the page and then return back, most likely, I assume that by leaving the page, potentially we are, no, I don't know actually, guys. I'm not sure why leaving the page will actually change something in this equation, meaning why leaving the page will actually update the matches. Maybe because of the re-render when we come back, I'm not sure. But anyway, to fix this problem, we have to remove matches, right? So empty dependency array means that this function is going to be called only once when the component is rendered, right? And that's normally what we want. We open the page, we make an API call, we get the response, we shove the data, and that's it. Whatever is happening on the page is not a concern anymore, right? So Lucid, please try to remove the matches from the dependency array, leave just an empty array, and that should work for you. And now, I hope that will help. Now I'm going to post all of this, whatever I just explained. I'm gonna write in an answer, potentially with some code examples, and then post an answer. So let me try to do it quick. You know what? Maybe I will point to some resource about a React dependency array. So React useEffect dependency, or let's go to the React, yeah. Let's go to official React useEffect documentation and see what's happening. By the way, this is React 16. All right, this is React 16, which is yeah, okay. It's not newest. The newest, I guess, is 18 right now. So let me see. The snippet is effect without cleanup. Example using cleanup. All right. Then example using hooks. Use effect without anything. Run every render. What does useEffect do? What is useEffect call inside the component, alright? Not that. Let me see. With cleanup, example using classes. Example using hooks. Let me see, maybe I will find something here. Rules for hooks. Empty dependency, alright. If you want to run an effect and cleaning up only once on mount and unmount, you can pass an empty array as a second argument. Alright, this tells React that useEffect does not depend on any value from props or state, so it never needs to re-render. That isn't handled as a special case, it follows directly from... Okay, so I'm gonna just take this and put a quote. So please change your useEffect to next, and we will paste some code which is going to be useEffect, and then a function which will get the empty array, right? And then I will take this just to make sure Lucid understands. Okay, and this should so we've got one answer, that's okay, and this should solve your problem. Hope this helps. As usual, let me add one thing here from React official documentation. Oops. From React official documentation. Cool. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. And by the way, guys, if you think that I should skip this part, writing the answer, and just explain the answer, and please let me know in the comment section below. And that's it. Looks good to me. I'm posting the answer, and see you guys next video.